I have been observing a very bizarre phenomena happening across the world, and that is older generations are not teaching younger generations how to cook. I used to think that this was only happening in the West, but I live in Turkey, which many people consider to be the Middle East. How much further can I get from my Midwestern roots? Even here, older generations are not teaching younger generations how to cook. I think that there can be a lot of shame affiliated with not knowing how to cook because we know that it's one of the most basic survival skills we should have, and yet cooking is a skill. What do skills require? They require instruction and they require practice. They require other people imparting their wisdom and knowledge upon us. Don't feel ashamed, don't feel bad if cooking is something that you've really struggled with. I had to learn how to cook all by myself. And I know many people who are struggling in their late 20s with figuring out how to actually cook. So here are some tips that I think will help you bring down the stress of cooking. Tip number 1 is to clean your kitchen before you cook, and particularly wipe down the countertops. It may feel counterintuitive to clean a space before you make a mess in the space, but the mess that you're making is a mess that you're going to eat. So it is a different kind of mess. You are not soiling the kitchen, you are using the kitchen. If you wipe down the countertops first and get your workstation clean, you have more workstation available to you. I have spent way too much stress trying to juggle all of my vegetables on a cutting board when I could have just put them on the clean countertop. If you wipe down your countertops first, you're able to use the full countertop and nothing is going to get into your food. My second tip is to get out all of your ingredients before you start the cooking process. So once your kitchen is clean, that countertop is ready, get all of your ingredients out. You're doing this for a couple of reasons. One, to avoid the stress later when you're cooking and you realize you don't have something you need. How many times have I made something and I realize I don't actually have one of the core ingredients that I thought I had and I need it. The second reason that you're doing this is so that you can actually see everything you're going to use, so that once the heat turns on, once the process starts, your brain isn't trying to also figure out where are the supplies that you need. Having all of our supplies available to us lets our brain focus on what is at hand instead of wondering, oh no, where are the ingredients that I need? This third tip is such a make or break tip. It is to batch your tasks. If you need to rinse vegetables or wash produce or do anything like that, do all of it together. If you're going to chop anything up, if you're going to slice onions, chop carrots, chop up eggplant, whatever you're going to do it all together and then have all of your chopped and sliced ingredients in bowls off to the side. This is so incredible because once you turn that fire on and you start adding ingredients to the heat, to the oil in the pan, you can't go back. Have you ever had that panicked moment where you've got something almost burning in the pan, but you still need to chop up your zucchini or whatever it is? If you have everything chopped up first, you're able to shift your full attention to the pan on the stovetop and just start adding your ingredients when it's time. You don't have to have nearly as much stress happening. So batching your tasks when it comes to prepping, washing the produce, chopping the produce, this is even a skill that goes into food prep, that if you know you've got a huge bag of carrots and you want to use it in the next couple of days, rinse and chop all those carrots. Get it all taken care of before you start trying to add heat into the mix. Something that I think most of us have heard all our lives is to clean as we go. Cleaning as you go actually does help so much with cooking. One of the best ways to do this is to either have a scrap bowl or a countertop trash can for all of the things that you need to quickly be able to get rid of. Have you ever found yourself chopping and slicing and your countertop is covered in peels, covered in remnants of vegetable, and you have to go back and forth to a trash can? This stresses us out. It really does. It caused me so much stress when I would do that. So having a trash can that is for the countertop that goes under the sink, or having a bowl that is specifically for gathering up those remnants, makes everything faster, cleaner and more efficient. Cleaning as you go doesn't mean going out of your way to clean while you're cooking. It means when there's a down moment. It's like when you add onions to the heat and you've stirred them in and now they need to cook for like a minute or two. In this minute or two, grab up your cutting boards, grab up your bowls, rinse them, put things in the dishwasher, wipe down the countertop. Again, just take care of these little things. It doesn't mean ignore the cooking so you can clean. It means in those brief moments of pause during cooking, just clean something up. My fifth and final tip for this video is to make enough to have leftovers. I don't know how many times I had heard that it's so difficult to cook for one because you don't know how much to make. No, make as much as you want, especially if you like what you've made, and eat it the next day. I love cooking large dinners and then having a portion of that dinner for lunch the next day. Cooking in large amounts, cooking in abundance, and disciplining yourself to actually eat your leftovers saves the day. It creates more fruit out of what the labor cost you, because if you have to cook fresh every single day and you don't have any leftovers to add to it, sometimes that can become very burdensome and tiring. But if you have those leftovers and the next day you're like, wow, I already have a meal at home, all I need to do is heat it up, maybe I'll make a little salad on the side, or I'll make some like toasted bread and put it over the bread, depending on what it is. Having that leftover stretches out the satisfaction of the labor of cooking. So don't be afraid to make too much. Make enough, make abundant, and eat it multiple days. I love cooking. I love cooking so much. I see it as an art process. I see it as therapeutic. It is something that helps me be in the present moment. But before I learned basic foundational skills and process for cooking, it was easily overwhelming and stressful. I'd open up the fridge and have no idea, looking at all these random things, what I could possibly make. Now, because I have muscle memory and intuition and trust with cooking, I'm able to just kind of get in the zone and just trust my body to just grab the right things and make delicious, nutritious meals out of what I would have seen as nothing years ago. So trust yourself, trust the process. Remember that you are a human being who needs to eat and your body knows what it likes. So explore, be curious, and a little nudge I would give you too is when I was originally learning how to cook while living on my own, I kept ready to make frozen food in the freezer. So if I was cooking and it was frustrating or if it felt too much like a chore, I would balance that with something easy, something simple, something that I could put into the oven. Don't expect yourself to be able to do everything all at once, but instead simplify it, build up a clean, trustable process with these tips I've given you, and be willing to make mistakes in the kitchen. It's totally fine. Cooking doesn't have to be something that makes you feel shame and guilt and inadequate and stress. Oh gosh. It can be such an escape from the hustle and grind and corporate boringness of the world when we step into our hearth, into our kitchen, where we can actually build and create something new that nourishes us and helps us flourish in life. So I hope you like these tips. Comment down below which one of them you're gonna add into your routine. And if you'd like more, just let me know. My name is Kaylee. I have a channel here where I talk about healing, wellness, and faith, and I'm so happy to see you. I'll see you for the next video.